in Coventry, there's not much of an exposure for part-time jobs. However, there are it had placements as such. We had to finish off with our dissertation. You would not be directly placed in the country where you land.
Hello, guys. I am your host, Ashley. Welcome back to another episode of College Dunya Student Connect, wherein we chat with international students and learn more about their experiences and journey. Before we kick off this episode, please subscribe to the channel and not miss the best informative study abroad content for you. Today, we have Sharon from the UK. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hi, Ashley. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing great. Before getting into the details of your study abroad journey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Angel Matangi. I am a graduate from English literature. I've went to the UK to do my linguistics and language teaching due to the passion of teaching English for second language learners. And I thought UK would be the best place to explore about language and the accent and the dialects as to how language can be used. Apart from that, I am interested into poetry. I'm a poet by myself and recently published a book on poems, just a trial book in case. And heading forward, I am a second master's student as well from IGNOU Delhi. Looking forward for my PhD in Europe soon. So I think that sums up my basic introduction.
That's actually very impressive. It's a good introduction. So why did you choose the UK? Do you think it was a good decision to study abroad?
Yeah, there are two reasons that I would like to note of. With first being the language culture there, and the second, I'm really interested to learn about the accent and the dialects of the language in the first place, as my course itself is looking into the language acquisitions. So I wanted to learn language from a natural learning perspective. So I thought UK would be the best try for me.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I'm also in the UK as well. So I kind of agree with you. There's a lot of good opportunities for a lot of fields here. Tell us about your course and your college in detail. How do you like your course, the campus, the facilities, and everything?
Right. So I've done my linguistics and English language teaching from Coventry University, from the place Coventry itself. Although the college has two campuses, or the university has two campuses, one in Coventry and London. I've done it from the Coventry campus. So my course is of a mixture of two separate courses, which is linguistics as well as language teaching. So it has given me the exposure practically and theoretically as well, not just sitting in the classroom or learning in between four walls. It has given me to do a practical exposure on second language learners, where I had to teach students from Spain, France, through Moodles and mocks, all of that, which they had been given me through the opportunities that they have given me. Heading to the university perspectives, the university is great, the infrastructure, the facilities, everything is tech equipped. Apart from that, I would like to specifically focus on the availability that the university gives to the students, especially in order to learn and get themselves organized into the university culture, is the first thing that the university stands for.
Right. All right. So how is the city like? How is Coventry like?
Well, to be honest, it was kind of difficult at the beginning stages, for a month or two. But however, due to a constant support from the university, it has made it very easy. The university is obviously divided into different sets of modules and week-wise sessions. So the learning sessions which the universities or the tutors give us is quite convenient, and the study schedule that they usually keep first for help us to be equipped in the first place, helping us to stay organized, and the study structures and the materials. It's not just by hearting everything, right? It's just learning naturally. So we know knowledge in the first place, and then we implement the knowledge at the same stretch.
Okay, so it's more practical and more hands-on. So
Right.
more industry-based.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What was your approach to writing the IELTS? I'm pretty sure, like, since you're doing an English literature program, you will be good at English. So IELTS must have been easy for you.
Right. Yeah, I've given my IELTS for around 2 to 3 times. I've not been to any sort of coaching or such because I've been an English grad. So taking IELTS is pretty practically complicated. I mean, it's not difficult, but it's quite complicated in order to use the language. So it's all about using the language with a lot of uniqueness in the language that we want to bring up. And this IELTS thing has eventually gave me an exposure to become an IELTS tutor by myself. So
Oh,
yeah, even
nice.
though it was quite complicated in the first place, eventually through scheduled practice and all of that on all the um, required resources that the internet brings up to us has made it much easier.
Yeah, that's good that you didn't take any coaching, because I hear a few people ask, like, should we take coaching for IELTS? And actually, you can just study 2 3 days before, really, if your English is good. So
Yeah.
yeah. So like, what about your SOP or letter of recommendation? Did you get any help from a counselor for that? And also,
No,
were there any tests you had to take?
honestly, no. I've written the SOP by myself, and the reason why I gave IELTS like thrice is I just want to know how competitive I was, even though I've scored a 7.5 and an 8. And regarding the SOPs, I've just looked into quite a samples from the alumni from the universities, and then brought the samples for myself and recreated on my own using my own language and what are the skills that I'm equipped with. So basically it's all about learning about the samples and how the students usually write and what are the key objectives that you as a person are bringing to the table to the universities.
Okay, okay, that's great. So actually, like, how did you find out about this course? Did you find it online, or did you like reach out to some graduates or your seniors? How did you actually find out about this course?
I have done one of my majors in my undergrad in linguistics. So I've always felt like I have to learn more about the language. So I have been searching for linguistics. Although my mind was constant to this country UK, and I have nowhere to go. So I've been searching out for colleges, and I have been got into many other universities. However, I've got in touch with some of the alumni from Coventry. We had a small group in Facebook, and all of this, the social media, the platforms that the universities have been offering. I've been contacted to some of the professors or the tutors out there, and I've got a little bit about the course overview so that I can have a full on confidence before I even step in.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great. So, like, when it comes to finding accommodation in Coventry, did you have any major challenges? Like, what was the experience like?
The first thing is the accommodation which was offered by the university itself, but it was really quite expensive. Let me be honest, yeah,
Yeah, it
because
is. It's in
we
UK.
have to put a lot of financials into the university's tuitions. Apart from that, putting into accommodation as well is quite an expensive go. So I've got down with some of my friends who are in the UK. I mean, totally strangers, but we met at the university's orientations, the inductions programs, and then we have got together, found out a home for ourselves, and then we have made our own accommodation.
Okay, okay. So, like, what are the expenses like if you consider the rent and groceries and all the other essentials? If you consider all that, what would be the average like to live in Coventry, like study and live in Coventry?
Yes, compared to the major cities in the UK, Coventry is not much expensive because you can get on a basic level, like the accommodation regarding the rents and the bills, it costed around 300 to 320 pounds per month. And apart from that, all of our extracurricular activities, including food parties or any other stuff that we are getting into, costed another 50 pounds. So that's averages between 350 to 300 and 380 or 400 pounds. So it was less than 400, which was quite equivalent to the part-time jobs that we used to do. So it equals to 2 weeks pay. So that sums up quite a good balance there. So I thought Coventry would be a good fit for majority of the international students.
That's actually much cheaper than most of the cities in the UK. Because yeah, like if you take major cities like London or even Bristol, Manchester, they'll be much more expensive than Coventry. So that's pretty good to hear. It's like around 400, 450 per month on an average. Pretty good for a student. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so like, what's the part-time job scenario like? Like, is it easy to get part-time jobs in Coventry, and like, what sort of part-time jobs are there for students?
So in Coventry, there's not much of an exposure for part-time jobs. However, there are like so many restaurants out there, and you get to do in all of small shops which can be related to your countries or any sort like that, or you have to move to a nearer cities to do your work for part-time. Although we have work for around 20 hours per week, students here usually get into flexibility of hours according to their convenience, whichever the universities are providing. So even the universities are giving out for student ambassadors and looking out after universities post courses recommendations, all of that. So all of these quite similar jobs which are going to pay minimal basis, these are going to be covering up all the averages for your living or the other accommodation purposes.
Okay, so like a student can earn about 9 to 12
Right.
pounds in an hour. Yeah, that's pretty standard, yeah, in the UK. So
That's pretty standard. Yes, yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And what about full-time jobs? So like when it comes to like your course, what is like the full-time job scenario like? Like, do you know any seniors who got who graduated from your course and got jobs related to it?
Yes, when we had, there is a process as to how the universities helps us to get into this job market. The first one is being the job fairs, and the second being the employment opportunities that the merit students usually get exposed to. So when I had to go personally, when I had to get into this job fairs or any of the activities that we're conducting regarding of many other places which were come together and placed their offers at the university. As an international student, I was being placed in European countries as a part-time assistant teacher. So that
Okay.
was a good start.
Yeah.
Being so that was a good start for a full-time being an international student and non-native speaker of English. So usually the preference there is the native speakers of English, but if you graduate from a course which has English as your main language and having that capability of producing your language, you can get into ESL's countries or ESL states and all of that. So some of my classmates, they have been placed in Dubai, China, Korea. So all of these places where English is not spoken much.
Okay, that's pretty good. So basically, you got a placement, or was it like a full-time graduate kind of role? Like what exactly
No,
it was?
pre-graduation job fairs at
Okay,
Coventry. So what they do is they let the students experience as to how their interview process goes like, and how
oh,
can they sustain themselves to the living conditions and the job condition regulations that the company or the school or the institution offers. So I had to go through that process to just to see where I can place myself in, if I had to be see myself in another country or another place where English is not the first language.
okay, okay. So does your course like offer any placement or any? Yeah, because there are a lot of courses in the UK that offer placements, like a 12-month placement with the course itself. So did your course
Yeah.
have that?
No, it's a 1 year master's course.
Okay,
It had placements as such. We had to finish off with our dissertation.
okay,
Before we do our dissertation, like it's a pre-dissertation thing where you have to do a practical project with the people in France or Spain or any of the Scandinavian countries. So we had to engage with the ESL learners and give that language learning classes to them, just like where we do IELTS here. There they do the English language courses, which will last about around 8 to 12 weeks.
okay, okay, fine. Um, so like before we wrap up this video, like what is one piece of advice that you would give to aspirants, like those who want to study linguistics?
So students who or anybody who want to get into language courses or linguistics, or any as of matter of fact any sort of language related courses, the one piece of advice that I would like to tell to all of you out there is to do research as much as possible, first thing. And secondly, you should have an minimal amount of knowledge as to where you want to step into. For example, you would not be directly placed in the country where you land. You would be getting
Yeah,
into
true.
countries where the English is not spoken. So, are you ready to do that? Are you willing to step into places? Are you willing to travel around places? So, if you are like really interested to get into exploring, learning, and getting settled into congested or non-fitting places for your profile, then go for it.
That's great advice. And thank you, Sharon, so much for sharing such amazing insights for our viewers. If you enjoyed
Thank
this episode, please comment, like, and share this video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot of informative videos lined up for you in the days to come. Let us know in the comments below if you want us to cover any college of your choice in the next video. Till then, have fun and work hard.